Greetings, eco-conscious viewers. Welcome to today's episode of Planet Earth, Our Loving Home. June 5th is World Environment Day, a day established by the United Nations in 1973 to raise global awareness of the vital importance of preserving our biosphere. This year's theme is Many Species, One Planet, One Future. In honor of this day, our program features excerpts of interviews with respected climate scientists, prominent political figures, knowledgeable environmental specialists, and concerned citizens regarding how intensive animal agriculture devastates our environment. According to Livestock's Long Shadow, a report released in 2006 by the Food and Agriculture Organization, or FAO, of the United Nations, the livestock industry is chiefly responsible for almost all the very serious environmental issues currently facing the planet, including land degradation, deforestation, water pollution and shortages, and above all, global warming. We begin with how production of animal products takes up huge tracts of land across the globe and thus robs humanity of the true productivity of the soil.
The whole operation of the meat system requires a lot of land. There's a whole bunch of agricultural land somewhere making the food to grow those animals. We're all connected together. We live on the same planet. We do one thing, it affects everybody. And this is a very important illustration.
The livestock sector is by far the single largest anthropogenic user of land. Livestock production accounts for 70% of all agricultural land and 30% of the world's surface land area. And 70% of previous forested land in the Amazon is occupied by cattle pastures, and crops for animal feed cover a large part of the remainder.
Forests everywhere play a crucial role in absorbing atmospheric carbon dioxide. Deforestation due to livestock raising erases these priceless carbon sinks.
Animal agriculture is the driver of land clearing around the world, particularly in Australia. Of the 100 million hectares of Australia that's been deforested, about 70 million of that has been down to animal agriculture. About 26 million is what we crop. We only live on about 2 million hectares.
尤其是像巴西这种地方，他们假如说是就说不去生产这些肉类的话，那些地方就说他们烧掉很多森林，使它变成草原，来做畜牧业的话，它就不需要了。它那些地方它就可以留下来，让森林继续生长。这样的话，因为森林燃烧排放的二氧化碳就可以省下来，这个是很重要的。
Production of animal products is inherently inefficient. It drains enormous amounts of our precious natural resources, such as water, and diverts food crops away from the hungry in order to feed factory-farmed animals instead.
Other environmental impacts of livestock: amount of water needed to produce 1 kilogram of maize is 900 liters, rice 3,000 liters, chicken 3,900, pork 4,900, and beef a whopping 15,500 liters. So it's also intensive in the use of water if you take the entire cycle. 1/3 of the world's cereal harvest and over 90% of soya is used for animal feed. It takes close to 10 kilograms of animal feed to produce 1 kilogram of beef, and 4 to 5.5 kilograms of grain to produce 1 kilogram of pork, and 2.1 to 3 kilograms of grain to produce 1 kilogram of poultry meat.
Indeed, there's a lot of water goes into producing a kilogram of beef, and a lot of water also goes into producing dairy products. So much dairy in Australia is conducted on lands that wouldn't actually be suitable for dairy except for irrigated agriculture. So this is water that's piped from the Murray and sprayed over vast areas of pasture to produce sufficiently green pasture to produce milk. But that's just the same water that's in desperate short supply in Adelaide. It's killing the Coorong, for instance, because it's not getting enough water flow. These are being sprayed onto the green fields of Western Victoria to produce dairy. It's not actually a very sensible use of water at all.
I would say that it is an issue that is quite important, and we need to grapple with it, that producing protein from livestock is extremely consumptive as far as water requirements. To produce the same amount of protein from meat compared to, say, legumes, I think it's on the order of 7 or 8 times more energy is required to produce that. In other words, it is quite costly for natural resources and energy consumption to produce beef. So as far as environmental responsibility, I would say that livestock has been shown to be quite energy intensive, water intensive, and land intensive. Converting forests into pasture land, we've changed much of our landscape. In fact, agriculture alone has changed the landscape of the planet more than any other driver. So I would advocate getting off of the meat diet, that it really is not sustainable.
The global biodiversity crisis is closely related to the rapid growth of the livestock industry in recent decades.
We human beings are living things. We came to existence and evolved in living systems as part of ecological systems. Every time we reduce the amount of biodiversity, we basically impoverish our own future. And we need to really think about ecosystems and biodiversity across the face of the planet. And we also need to think about maintaining representative natural areas that are of sufficient size that they continue to be representative. That was the idea of the minimum critical size of ecosystems, and how big should a park be in order to really be representative. If we fail to do this, it's a pretty unattractive future, not only for the rest of life, but for human beings.
When we return, we will continue to examine the harmful effects of the livestock industry. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television.